You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, Birmingham, Alabama.
Since 1948, Fate magazine has brought you reports of the strange and unknown, all of them true. Fate Radio is carrying on that tradition, bringing you the unusual, macabre, strange, and bizarre. Join host Kat Hobson Sunday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern on WBHM Digital Broadcasting.
It's Wednesday night, time for the Paranormal Experience radio show with host Kat Hobson. Kick back, relax, and get ready to learn. Welcome to the show. Now, here's Kat.
Good evening. Welcome back to Paranormal Experience Radio this lovely Wednesday evening. I am Kat Hobson, your host. Before we get started, I just have to tell people that Michael is a serious storm. I know so many people have been devastated. Some of my very favorite towns along the Big Bend of Florida are, well, some of them probably aren't still there tonight. And I've never seen a storm that big. It was astounding. I just wanted to let y'all know that we support you. We will be helping to do what we can to get you assistance once things are recognized as your needs. And mainly, if you're listening to this, I hope that you're safe and that your loved ones are safe. And just know that our community and our country and everyone is praying for you, and we're very hopeful for you, and we will be supporting you till you get right. Now, tonight's guest is one of the best EVP specialists in the country. I would argue that he makes definitely the top 5. I think he's brilliant. His information and his evidence is astounding. Tony is the founder of Entity Voices, PI. He is just a genuinely good person. He is someone who doesn't mind sharing and taking other people along on this experience so that other people can get the work results that he does. He is involved now with the Copper Canyon. I believe he owns it. And Tony, if I'm mistaken, please feel free to correct me, the Copper Canyon Paranormal Research Center. And on top of everything else, you brought EVPs. I'm very excited about that. Oh my. You know what? I'm gonna interrupt you because I think that we are having a problem with this audio, which is just one of those bizarre things. We're fixing that right now, and I'm not sure what the issue is, but I want to go back to that, if you don't mind. I want people to know all this, and I can actually just fix that. So these EVPs were caught where?
They were caught inside the Copper Canyon Paranormal Research Center by my wife and I.
And that was your first time, right?
It was. We had our eye on this building for years, because it's a very unique building. It was built in 1919, and it was constructed by the New Cornelia Mining Company, and it was literally designed to be the hospital for the miners that worked in the copper mine and their families. And they supported this. Then later in the 20s or 30s, Phelps Dodge came in and took over the mining operation. So it was known as the Phelps Dodge Hospital at that point. But due to copper prices falling, due to union strikes, it shut down and it closed down. The mine ended in 1985 and the hospital closed in 1986. And it literally has sat empty for the last 38 years.
Oh, my word.
So we got an opportunity, and this was a strange experience because, like I said, we had our eye on that location for years, but never knew who owned it or, how to get into it. And one day on Facebook, I just opened it up and there was a tour happening. And of course, we took advantage of it and we took the tour and we got the opportunity to investigate it for about, I think it was about 4 hours or so, nighttime hours. And what we came out of there with had absolutely blown me away. I mean, Cherie and I have been all over the country in some of the most notable haunted locations across the U.S., and some of them are very good. But this place, I mean, I can't even explain it. There was a draw, there was a connection, and the EVPs that were coming out of there were so strong and so clear. That's when we started to figure out who was the owner, how we could let other paranormal investigators get an opportunity to experience this type of interaction, this type of connection. And after, turning Entity Voices, which was a hobby, now into Entity Voices LLC, and of course the Copper Canyon LLC, it's been a process and it's definitely kept us busy. But the outcome of this will give so many other people in the field an opportunity to really experience the things that we have. And I think it'll be a learning experience for everyone and an opportunity to share some amazing captures.
Well, I think that one of the things about this, and probably from the history of this building and the time frame that it sat dormant, these spirits were just waiting for someone. And I think that's beautiful that you are taking the steps to make sure that other people get to encounter them and interact with them. I can't tell you how much I respect that.
Thank you very much. One of the very first EVPs that I pulled off of our recordings when we were first in there, we probably weren't in there more than 15 minutes, but the EVP literally says, "Who are these people?" Meaning, you're absolutely right. They had been left alone for the last 38, 40 years roughly, and had no interaction.
Right.
And they knew we weren't there on a regular basis. Of course, now we are, but at that time, yeah, they're literally asking, "Who are these people?" So it was very interesting. But yeah, you could tell there had been a long dormancy of communication with interaction with living humans, and they showed that. It was incredible.
Well, would you like to play that one?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Well, let's see if we can't get this to everybody. Here we go.
Oh, what is this? Oh, this is where we came in.
Oh, I'm going to play that again because I love that. Here we go.
Oh, what is this? Oh, this is where we came in.
The tone that it asks that question in is just like, we're being invaded. Almost.
Exactly.
It's like...
Well, that's exactly what we thought. And like I said, that wasn't more than being in the building about 10 minutes. And to have that instantly come forward, I knew that the rest of the the data that we had to go through was going to be great to see what else was there, and it was. But it was just such an interesting statement to out of a voice that came out of nowhere. Who are these people? It was great.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like the next line would have been, and why are they here?
Right, exactly.
I love when you can get the inflection to catch the mood like that. You're very good at that.
Thank you. The cool thing about this building is that, like I said, the history of it, and we didn't know the full history when we stepped inside. It was just the draw to the building. I mean, it's got this Spanish architecture to it that isn't seen very often, and it's a very Southwest style building. And had that building been in Phoenix, 3 months after it had gone abandoned, it would have been torn down and replaced. That's what happens in Phoenix. But because this town of Ajo is literally in the middle of nowhere, they have the original structures that have stood for centuries. And even if they're not being used, they're still up, they're still standing. And this building is one of those. And like I said, that itself, and it's rare. And the typical Southwest history of the fact that people were mining, and you had the Spanish mining, and you had Europeans that had come in to mine, because apparently this town had these 3 mountains that literally glowed with metallic minerals in it. And when the sun hit it, it literally shined. So mining had been happening in this town for centuries. And it wasn't until the new Cornelia or Jonathan Greenway came in and really set up a full-fledged mining operation, had a railroad put in so they could move the ore out. This mining had been going on, and there were fights over it and gunfights over the individual mines that were there. So it's the history of it is just so dramatic. So you've got that whole Southwest style history that goes along with, the people that were born there, died there, babies that were born and died there because there weren't vaccines that weren't available till after World War II. So the whole story just comes together and portrays this building just phenomenally from a historic perspective. And then to be able to back it up with these voices that are coming from inside the building just absolutely fascinates us.
Well, I can see why. Erin in chat was just blown away, and she said, so clear, a woman, the voice quality. And, that's what blew me away when I was loading these. After you sent them, I was just kind of like, whoa, this is bizarre.
Yeah, and we've been very fortunate for capturing very clear sounding EVPs in lots of locations that we go to. But this one, I don't know if it was a connection directly to my wife and I. I don't know if we just got lucky. But yes, they are extremely clear. They are very audible, and it's not a single word. It's full sentences.
And there's so many, because something I don't think people realize, and I was going to share one of the pictures from your page and the video, but I thought that, maybe we would just talk about this, is the absolute mind-numbing sometimes work that y'all go through. There was a picture of you and Cherie reviewing. You each had your own computer in front of you. You each had your headphones on. It was obviously going to be a while, or had been a while, right? But
right.
Anytime that you're investigating, I learned this quickly, right, with my cameras, is that you stop the cameras and you stop the recorders, and you break. Yeah, I can do maybe 15 or 20 minutes without a break, without fading off and doing something, ADD. But y'all get so much evidence to review, and I still have so much evidence to review, and of course residentials come before anything else, but it's just amazing to me